Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Art Therapy Thursday and we are going to continue on with Little Miss Goldilocks. We've completed her dress and her hair and her skin and all that fun stuff. We're going to do her basket and then we're going to work on the background. So for her basket, we are still working with the Amazon Basics. So for her basket, I want to start with burnt ochre as our light tone. Now I'm going to go from light to dark on the basket just so that the dark pops out a little bit more to show the contours a little bit better and the design in the basket just a little bit better. I'm going to switch you over to the close-up camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. And hopefully we can get some of this finished off today. If I don't completely finish the page today, what I will be doing is I will do a video for tomorrow for Finish It Friday, and hopefully we'll finish it for that. So I'm just putting a very light layer of the burnt ochre down, and that's number 553 in the Amazon Basics. This is, of course, a page out of Ruth Sanderson's Goldilocks coloring book. Of course, I will leave a link to that in the description below the video. The Amazon Basics are currently unavailable on Amazon, but I will leave a link, so keep an eye on it, and hopefully it will come back into stock soon. So the baskets are full of something called huckleberries. This is something that I grew up having very easy access to. They're little tiny red berries, pinkish red berries, and they're really, really good. I could sit in a huckleberry bush and eat huckleberries all day long. And I used to when I was a kid. I was a grazer. If I could find it, I would eat it. You know, which was not good when I found, mushrooms and things like that weren't good for you. But my parents did teach me very well on what you should and should not eat. And huckleberries was one of those ones that you could eat. There was huckleberries, blackberries, blueberries, red caps. There was an orange berry, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was a peachy orange color, and it looked like a blackberry, but it wasn't. And I'm trying to remember the name of it. And I can't, for the life of me, remember the name of it for some reason. Oh well. It'll come to me. Probably halfway through the video, I'll spurt it out. So I hope you guys are all having a wonderful week. I know that it's been a long week already. For some reason I wanted the week to be over like on Tuesday. I was supposed to have an appointment today. Well, I thought I had an appointment today to have the deck repaired for the dog. Unfortunately, my brain has my timing wrong. So it is not until next Thursday, which is kind of good because it gives me a little bit more time today to do the rest of the decorating of the yard. It's not as miserable as it was yesterday, so that makes me happy. All right, now we're going to go in with, so that one was burnt ochre. Now we're going to go in with brown ochre as soon as I find it. That's not it. There it is. Okay, which is number 556. Now this is our medium tone, so this is the tone that we're going to bring all the way across for the shadow area, and then we'll go in with our darker tone for the contours and the deeper dark areas. And then we'll go over it again with the light color. The coat that I put on is just a base coat. It's not the finished color. And hopefully I'm still on camera. So as you can see, this entire edge of the basket is shadowed. So we're going to deepen that color with the brown ochre all the way through the shadow area. Right now we're just adding the shadows. These are a wax-based pencil and you can definitely smush them. However, I do find that I get a better buildup of color if I layer them. There's some shadow on this side as well. I'm just following the directions of the artist. So she has put in some fantastic levels of graying from light to dark. So I'm just following that gray scale that she's already put in there, which is giving me direction on where my shadows are going to be. Now, if you were coloring a line art, just choose the direction of the light and put in your shadows according to that. Now she has the light coming at her this way, so that's why this part of the basket is lighter than this part of the basket. All right. Make sure I get that little piece of basket in between her fingers there. This part here needs to be darker. Okay, so now we're going to go in with the darkest color, and this color is going to have a little bit of red, so I'm going to use the burnt sienna for this part, just because it has a little touch of that red tone in it. And I'm just going into those really heavy dark lines that are there. And dragging that out a little bit into that medium tone, so that when I go over it with the light tone again, it will blend all those colors together. Concentration time. If you didn't watch Shannon this morning, she did it. She's working on a absolutely gorgeous picture out of Rita Berman's Travel Through China, Travel Through Asia, that's it, book. Keep on seeing that book and I keep on going, I want it, but not right now. I've got so many books to work through. I don't need any new ones. I really don't. And this entire year is going to be work through what you got, and I don't need to add to what I got. Not that I won't, but you know, I'm not going to purchase it. I do have a few things coming in that I purchased beforehand, but I'm not buying anything from January 1st on. I do have a few review things that like to review people that send me wonderful things, and I love reviewing for them. And I will continue to do my reviews. All right. So I'm just doing this area here a little bit darker around the edge, getting that deep shadow area in there. Because this side of the basket is turned completely away from the light source. I'm going to sharpen my pencil just to get into those really deep areas. And again, like I said, the artist has given you all of the information to work from. As long as you work with what the artist has given you, you will find that grayscale is quite simple. If you work against what the artist has given you, you will find that covering it with things that aren't meant to be there can be a little bit more difficult. And of course, with most artists that do grayscale, the grayscale is done with their own works. If, for example, if Ruth is doing a grayscale book, I do believe that all of her grayscale is grayscale of her original art. So you can see her original art on her web page. So if you need a reference, there's always the ability to look them up and look up the reference, as long as it's a known artist or an artist that does original line art painting and stuff like that, like Karen Dash, Ruth, Kimberly Hawthorne has a couple, but I do find that Kimberly Hawthorne's are a composition, so the books that have her name on it may not be just her work, so that can be a little difficult to deal with. All right. Like I said, I have found a couple of Ruth's pictures in her book where they were listed as somebody else's, and that kind of makes me mad, but Ruth took care of it, I do believe. All right, now we're going to go back to our lightest color, and we're just going to move everything together. So we've used burnt ochre, brown ochre, and burnt sienna for the basket. And we're going to go back in with the burnt ochre, and we're just going to finish it off. So we're going to press a little bit harder with this light tone, and we're going to fill in all of that white spot and blend all of those colors together. For the basket. And then we'll move on to the door. Well, after we do the berries. We're not going to leave the berries uncolored. If I keep on missing the edge of the area I'm coloring and coloring in the berries, they're going to be brown. Keep on running my pencil over the berries. Now, because they are really tiny berries and there's not a whole lot of detail there beyond the fact that they're just little round berries, we're going to color them all one color and then just put in small bits of detail in there. Just because it would take forever if I decided to color each and every berry. And you guys don't want to see me color each and every berry. So there's our basket. Now we're going to take a little bit of the ochre and we're going to go into our highlight areas with it. And give a little bit of a glow to those highlight areas. Like so. And then we're going to do the same thing in here. And up here. So a little bit more in there. And just a little bit on the handle here as well. And there we have our basket. Now we're going to do, let's not do hot pink. I want to do a peachy rose salmon-y color. So let's do the salmon tone. Salmon berries are good. That's what it is, salmon berries. They're an orange berry. It kind of looks like, it's an orangey, apricot-y kind of color. And they look like blackberries, but they're an apricot-y kind of color. They're really good. Okay, so now I'm going through with rose and just adding in a little bit of dark areas. Now you could do these red as well. I have seen red huckleberries as well. Where I grew up, they start off a pinky color and are ripe when they're dark pink, and even riper when they're red. But I like them when they're in the pink stage. All right, so there's our basket and our berries. We're going to move on to the door, and I'm going to start up at the top. So I'm going to tip you forward here just a little bit. There we go. And again, we're going to start with our lighter color. So we're going to start with bark, I do believe. No, burnt ochre, brown ochre. That's what we're going to start with. And then we'll go into bark. So we're going to start with brown ochre. And we're just going to color, put down the whole base color here. Our base color is going to be the brown ochre. Try not to cover up her hair, but remember to work in between it. That's sleeve. And that's the door frame there. And I'm just putting a very light layer. And we'll put another layer of this on afterwards, but first we've got to get our dark and medium tones in there as well. And this is just a base layer, something for me to work off of to build that color. You can also start with your dark and work your way up. I want the dark to stand out a little bit more because I'm going to be adding some red tones to it. And I want that to stand out in the grain of the wood. And I'm off camera. Sorry, guys. Doing the bottom area. Nothing exciting, just the same thing, just covering the whole area with the brown ochre. And as you can see, as you go over it, the shadow starts popping out a little bit more. And a lot of people do put down one color and let the grayscale do all the work for them. And that's perfectly fine. That is a completely legitimate way of coloring the grayscale. I enjoy doing the shadow areas and making them pop out a little bit more and putting that detail in there a little bit more. You don't have to, but you don't have to do anything in coloring. You do it the way you want to do it. Whatever makes you happy is the right way. There is no right or wrong in coloring anything. Absolutely no right or wrong. Tomorrow is Friday, and we will be doing we have added a special segment to Friday called Fix It Friday. And, basically, if you feel that there's something that you want to repair in your coloring, and you don't like the way it turned out, or you're not sure how to make it look better than it does for yourself, shoot me an email. My email address is on the banner as well as in the About section. Shoot me an email and let me know what you are using, whether it be markers, whether it be colored pencils, whether it be pan pastels. Shoot me an email of what you feel the problem is, what you don't like about it, and I will try to replicate it and try to show you how to fix it in the way that you want it fixed. If I can. Sometimes I can't. I'm not an artist. I'm not perfect at anything. But I do think outside of the box sometimes, which does give me a little bit of ability to repair if you want to put it that way. And again, I'm going to say there are no mistakes. There are opportunities, but not mistakes. I'm sorry, I'm off screen again. So I'm doing the bottom part of the door under her arm. And again, I'm just going through and adding that same color all the way through the door. This part's the boring part because I'm just using one color and going back and forth. I'm just adding the base. And once we get the base on, then I will start adding the shadows and that sort of thing. And then I'll try to make sure that I keep everything on camera. I might have to zoom it out a little bit for you. But there are no mistakes. People are artistic in their own ways, and they do what they feel and what they like. So when you feel that you're doing the best that you can and that you really like what you've done, then you're fantastic. There's always opportunity to learn more, but sometimes we just enjoy what we're doing, and it doesn't matter if it's perfect. It doesn't matter if it's something that somebody else is going to enjoy. It only matters that it's something that you enjoy. That's the only thing that matters with anybody's artwork. If you're selling it, then you might have to worry a little bit more on perfection, but just still be you. Still do it the way you want to do it. All right. So there we have the base of our door. And now we're going to go in with bark brown. Bark. No, not dark chocolate. I want bark. Bark. So we have bark brown, which is 555. And this is going to be our medium. So this is where we're going to add most of the larger shadow areas. So for example here, and now I'm going to concentrate on it a little bit more. I'm not going to be all over the place with the color. Now I'm going to keep that color concentrated into the spaces that I need it to be concentrated into. Now the one thing that you do have to be careful of, and I just noticed it and I should have thought of it first, is there's a lot of graining in the wood there. Now as you can probably see on this panel here, there's not as much graining, but what graining there was, I've kind of removed with the colored pencil. And this is one of the reasons why I prefer to do the dark color first, so that I can follow that graining. And I didn't do that this time, and I should have. So I'm going to take the Van Dyke Brown, and I'm going to put that graining in before I lose it all. Now I've sharpened it very sharp, and we're just going to come down, and we're going to put that graining in. Following the artist's Now, what I would have preferred to have done was put this graining in before I put down the light tone. And the reason being is because I can see it better on the white. It's a little bit more difficult to see when it's been colored over top of. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be there. Just doing the edge of the panel there. Again, coming down and doing the edge of the panel. The tip of my pencil is a little bit broader now, so that's why I'm doing the panels instead of the veins, because I'm going to have to sharpen the pencil to get the veins done. So we're just going to do the panel first, and then we'll do the veins. So same with up here. fix that later. Okay, so let's put in the grain of the wood. Like I said, this part is a little bit of the tedious part. And if you do this before you add your color, you will find that it stands out a little bit better. And then you can maintain it. You can follow it later when you want to have it stand right out. Because once we put the color over top of this, you will find that it does diminish quite a bit, and you will have to do it again. But when you do it again, at least you'll be able to see it. Where if I didn't do this, we would get to a point where we couldn't see it, which would make it way more difficult to tip you up. Oh, sorry. Tip you up a little bit. It would make it way more difficult to do it afterwards. And I should have done it first, and I didn't. She has a really good amount of graining on this wood. It's awesome. Oh, Mr. Choo Choo says hello. All right. So are you all bored yet? Okay. Just putting in that deeper shadow here. And then moving down the grain of the wood again. Sorry, I thought I had the volume off on my phone, and I have not. I think I turned it back on because I was expecting a text message from the construction company that's going to come fix the stairs for the dog. And I forgot to turn it off. Again, going to sharpen my pencil. The one thing about having a soft wax pencil is, even though it's a fantastic feeling while you're coloring, you may find that you need to sharpen it a lot more to maintain that tight, really, really fine point. But it can be done, especially if you keep turning your pencil. It does give you the ability to extend that point period for longer. Now again, I'm just following the lines and artwork that the artist has given me. I'm not adding anything to it, just following what is there. Alright, we're going to do the top part here. Now, if you find that your page doesn't have the graining in it that you want, or any graining at all, you can definitely add that yourself just by taking a look at what I would do. What I normally do when I don't know how to color something is I will find a reference, and I'll find several different references, and I'll take a look at the colors they've used, and I'll take a look at the design itself and how they're following it. If that makes any sense. All right. Okay, now we're going to go in with our bark. Now that we've got the graining in there, we can go in with the bark. And as you can see, it still shows through the bark, though it does need to be touched up when we're done so that it shows up even better. Okay, just getting that shadow in there. I think I need more coffee. So that, or else my own voice is making me sleepy. It's going to build that color up. This is one of those instances when you want a fairly dull pencil so that you can get a deeper coverage, a more wide coverage. Sometimes when you have an extremely point pencil, getting to these deep areas is a little bit more difficult. Again, I'm just going through all the shadowy areas that Ruth has given us with the bark color. Like so. All right. Making sure that we have a good coverage. And we're showing that shadow accurately. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't realize I was off screen. So that is most of her shadow area. Now we're going to do around her hand here. Under her arm. right. It's starting to come together. Okay. Now I'm going to sharpen my pencil again, and we're going to get into the dark areas of the wood shadow. So I didn't sharpen it to a really extreme point. I just sharpened it enough that I have pencil exposed. I don't want a really, really sharp point for this because it's covering a larger area. Like so. And again, this is just our medium tone. Okay, and then underneath here, we've got a shadow here. And a shadow on this side. This side here is completely shadowed because it is facing away from the light source. Okay. And then down here at the bottom as well. Okay, let's fill this in. Again, building up that concentration of color. Then we've also got this area here. Moving up our wall here with the door. Okay. Now I'm going to zoom that out because it's really starting to bother me that it is too far in because these areas are quite large. So I'm going to zoom it out so you can actually see the whole area that we're working in. Alright, just a little bit more. There, that's better. It's better. It's not as good, but it is better. Alright, so now we're going to go in with our darker color. So we're going to go in with dark chocolate. And this is going to be our deep color here. Now it's not as deep as the color that we used for our veining, but it does have that deep shadowy tone. And we're just going to go right into the deepest areas of our shadow. like so. Come down the wall here. The inside of the doorway. Now this one here I'm going to darken up a little bit more. Same with up in here. We're going to darken that up a little bit more so that it looks like it's the doorway, not attached to the door beyond the hinges, which are on the inside, so I don't have to worry about them. Same with down through here. I'm going to extend out that shadow quite a bit there for the shadow of the rocks. Like so. Then we're going to go in here where our deeper shadow is. Right now I'm just mapping it out a little bit. Doing the edges. There we go. Then we're going to come down here to the bottom. And we're going to darken this a little bit more down here. Making sure that we get that contour there. From having the surfaces in front of each other. Same with here. I'm going to put in a darker bit of contrast there for the handle. Alright. And go up the edge of the board here. As well as we're going to come down the edge of the board here. Making sure as we get into our shadowy area here that it stands out. So it doesn't blend in completely with the other areas. Otherwise you're going to lose that board. You'll find that you can't see it as well on the colored page if you don't make it, just pop out a little bit. Okay, so I think that's it for our shadowy chocolate brown areas. Just making sure. I think I want to put a little bit more shadow in here. Like so. Alright, now we're going to go over it again with our brown ochre. And as you can see, I've still got that dull point. But I'm going to start pressing a little bit more. Building that color up. I'm using about a medium pressure. Making sure I get through Goldilocks' hair here. Oh, I should not have done that. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Where is my little eraser? There it is. Nope, that's not it. Just need this pencil eraser. Thank you. So I went over her sleeve a little bit with that brown. So I'm just erasing that because that's part of her sleeve there. I am going to sharpen it. I'm going to use a dull sharpen. Just to give me some pencil availability, because this is going to take a little bit of pencil. Now I'm going to do this door, and I think that will be it for today. So we've gotten the basket and the door done. Isn't that thrilling? I'll work on it some more and put together a video for tomorrow. And maybe tomorrow I'll do a speed video, so I'll work on this a lot more and then compile it all into a speed video and match it up to some music. And hopefully we can get it finished by the end of the week. If not, we'll work on it a bit on Saturday and get it all finished up before we pick a new page. We will, of course, be doing the cauldron of collection. The collection cauldron. Yeah, that's it. And we'll be working from the next set of pencils we'll be working from are from the sets that start with B. So I'm just going in alphabetical order, and I'll put all of the sets that start with B in the cauldron, and we will pull a set from that. If I have multiple sets, I will list them in the multiple. Sorry, I was off screen again. Again, I'm just going through, putting a little bit more pressure, getting that bright brown color. Now I want this to be fairly dark in contrast to her basket as well as her hair. So this is a lot more of a red, darker red brown than the light brown that we use for the basket. Putting down enough color that when I put the blender to it, it will blend accurately. Now I'm going to do this as polished wood because, you know, what kind of bear lives in an unpolished house? Not Mama Bear's family, that's for darn sure. These bears are civilized. Civilized bears. It makes me giggle. Again, sharpen it to a point where I can still have some pencil to use, but not a sharp point because I don't want to make thin lines. I just want to cover an area. If I wanted to get into really tight detailed areas, I would sharpen it a little bit sharper. But because I'm just covering a large area with the same color, I don't have to put a really sharp point on it. Keeping it dull does help it cover a little bit quicker and help it mesh into the tooth of the paper. I am using the paper out of the coloring book. I have not reprinted this on anything else. All right. Hopefully I'm still on screen. Yes, I am. It's hard to believe it's taken me an hour to color a door. I feel so unaccomplished. A door in a basket. There you go, Shannon. Beat that one. Take me an hour to color a door and a basket. There's a lot of detail in this door. That's my defense, and I'm sticking to it. It's not the fact that I'm slow as molasses in January. Especially today. I don't know why, but I woke up with a headache and I'm a little bit tired and groggy. Is it bad when your own voice puts you to sleep? I know how you all feel about my voice now because I'm listening to myself talk and go, I can go for a nap right about now. I promise I won't fall asleep on y'all. And if I do, it will not be in this video. But I don't think I'm going to fall asleep on y'all. Just saying. Right. Now we're going to come up here into the top part. And finish off those panels. Up here. Okay. Well, the three little bears almost have a door. Still need to do the door handle, but we'll finish this part here first and then we'll do the door handle. Okay. I know I just got quiet, but that's okay. Alright. Alright, so there is our door. Now let's get some black and some gray. So I'm going to take the blue-gray that we used on her dress, and we're going to use black with that as well as some gray. So this is silver gray. And we're going to start with the blue-gray around the edges here. Of the door handle. Under her thumb there. Under the deep part of the edge here. Now we'll be going over that deeper part of the edge with black. Most of the shadows will be gone over with black as well. And we're going to gradually come into the screw plate of it. as well as down into the handle itself. All right, and then we're going to go in with our silver gray. And we're going to pull that in right off of that blue gray. And then we're going to go in with our black. And put in our details. Some areas I'm going over very light-handed, giving it that shadow that it needs. Like so. And there we have our handle. Now I'm going to take the blender stick and we're going to blend the door down. I'm just going to blend a part of it so you can see how it's going to look. And then I'll blend the rest of it off screen. Because you guys don't want to sit here all day watching me blend. I am quite sure. Okay, okay. So I'll do this bottom half of the door here. Whoosh off all the remnants there. And again, just getting as much of the bright color in there. Not too concerned about the white spot because, you know, it's wood just like any other porous material. It's going to show different bits of spotting and pitting. All right, I'm going to come up here. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to be off camera. And as you can see, with putting the color in that shadow, the gray doesn't pop out as much. You get that deeper color, the same as the wood, instead of just getting gray. All right. And after I'm done blending this part for you, I'll switch you over to the main camera and we'll take a look at the door and the basket and all of that together. And you'll see where we're going with this. I will continue on with this. I will do a finish it Friday. Hopefully we'll finish it. I know it shouldn't be called Finish It Friday if we're not going to finish, but we did start late on this page. So we did start on Monday instead of Saturday. So we did start late on this page, so it is running about a day late. All right, so I'm going to switch you on over. And there we have our door and our basket all finished up. I will finish up the door in blending and get that all blended so that you can see the brilliance of the color. And I will, of course, continue on with this page. Hopefully we'll get it all finished up for tomorrow. If not, like I said, we'll work on it on Saturday after we pick the new page and the new pencils for next week. We do have a special guest coming to visit. Just going to tell you the little bit of information. On the 18th, Ruth Sanderson will be joining us on the channel. She does have a coupon code that will be on the post for the live stream. This will be on the 18th. I'm going to post the live stream early so that everybody can get the 40% off code for her Etsy store. So she's giving us 40% off specifically for us. So 40% off everything in her Etsy store, which is awesome. So I will post that code for you as soon as I post the video introductions and all that scheduling stuff. All right, guys, so I'm almost done doing the door for you. Always remember to relax, color, and stay safe. And always, always remember to hit that like button. If you aren't already a subscriber to the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the content. And this is not just for my channel. This is for any channel that you visit and you enjoy. It does help the analytics tell YouTube that people like your videos and more people would probably like your videos so that they would send more people over to see us. And then you guys get more people to hang out with. All right, guys, with that, I would like to say thank you all very much for watching. I hope this has been a very therapeutic Art Therapy Thursday. And yeah, I will see you again tomorrow. We do have a couple of videos coming up. We've got the Finish It Friday for this page, as well as a Fun Stuff Friday, looking at the Color 300s, which is a massive, massive set of pencils. But we will be looking at those more tomorrow. All right, guys, with that, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.